Okay. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So how many projects I created so far? First one is Institute is my core project. Institute model is my database model. Another one is Institute service. Another one is service contract. So I created 4 projects. Okay. Let me close everything. Close all tab. Now try to build the solution. This is your first step. Okay. All the solutions got started and built. Building is going on. You see here. Done. Everything is succeeded. Now what you need to do, first go to your model, try to create a student model. You tell me what is the thing we can do. Let us create a class with the certain properties. Okay. So what is the class name we can give? We can give
Student model.
Yeah, student model. Hold on a second. I create a student model. A class has been created. Now what I will do, I'll remove the sorts using and then put public. Here I'm going to use 4 values: ID, name, date of birth, age. Public, int,
ID.
ID.
Which would be the key?
I'll come. Here you have to specify key attribute. When I use key, what will happen? This key will be derived from a namespace system.component.data annotation model namespace. And then public string student name. Public date time, date of birth. Okay. Public int age. Done. Now I added this project, build the solution. What will happen? This project will get built. Now what I'm going to do, once I add this model, I'm going to create a service contract for the model. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an interface where I'm going to add a service model. Right click, add new item, interface. I can simply say I student service. I student service, remove sort using. Here you have to use public. To get the student model, what I need to do? Can I get the student model directly? Not possible. So what you need to do? You need to add a project reference. There you go and select student model, click OK. When you build that, the student model will automatically come here. When you build the solution service contract, it will first build the student model and then it will build the service contract. Here, I'm going to say list student model. You see, I got the model and then get students. So now I built the contract. Save all. Try to build this project. And then in the service class, I'm going to create a student service. I'm going to create a student service class, student service. Everybody clear? You all understand my flow? Say yes, sir. Others. So now I got the student service. So what I need to do, The contract, whatever I build it, should be comes here, saying that I student service. It will not come. Why? Why? Because we need to add a reference of the project here. What are the reference you need to add? You need to add model reference as well as contract reference. Without model and contract, you can't able to build the service. Click OK. Here, you have to say I student service. The moment you add I student service, this sample ASP.NET Institute service contract class library will be comes here. And then right click, go to definition. And you have to create a suggestion implement interface. Now you got the list of students. Okay, here I'm going to write a private method. I'm going to build the get student list. Student model all students. Okay, I'm going to use this method as all student. Here I'm going to create an object students equal to new of list of students. There I'm going to return students. Okay, now what I'm going to do? Now what I'm going to do? Come on, please tell. I need to build the student list. You have to speak, I told you. Students dot, you have to speak. Students dot add of new of student model here student ID equal to 1 comma student name equal to test comma date of birth equal to convert dot to date time. I can give something like 6 comma 6 comma 20 2006. Okay, comma age should be 2006 means we are in 24. So
18.
80. Right? Now copy the same. Add, make this 2, say here 7, not 7, 5, make this as 90. Add one more 3, 4, 20. Just make here 4, 2003, 21. Copy 5, 2002, 22. Done. Build the project. It will not work. It will throw error. Why? Because it doesn't have implementation. So what you need to do? You simply use return all students. Right? Now I got the service. Build the project. Now come back. Come back to your actual solution. You done your service, you done your model, you done your contract. Everybody clear? Anybody have any questions on this? Please say yes or no. Everybody say yes or no. Prem, Nitin, everybody clear with this?
It's clear, sir.
Okay. What about Nitin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Now, go to here, First, what you need to do in the program.cs file, you need to build the configuration. What is your first configuration? App.use static files. I know I already teach you what is static files. App.use routing. Right? App.map controllers. Map controllers. Done. And then you need to register a service in the builder method. Builder.service.add MVC with add controller with view. Add controllers with view. Whenever you are adding any controller in the project, that specified controller connect with the view. That is the reason we are using add controller with views. Now done. Build the project. Perfect. Now go to Solution Explorer. I'm going to create a controller first. Right click, add folder, controllers. Under the controller, I'm going to right click, add controller, MVC empty controller. Click on add. Say instead of home controller, I'm going to use student controller. Once I create a student controller, this controller indirectly call the action result, right? This action results will return a view. Now, sir, I need to create a view. So what I will do, right click, add folder, views. This and all I explained already. You can go through my previous videos. Right click, add folder, student. And then right click, add view, razor empty view. It will automatically create your index.view. You see here. Index.cshtml, it is automatically created. You see here. Then click add. Now I added a view. Here I'm going to build my HTML. Here I'm going to add head. Here I'm going to add title. Student list is my view. Okay. And then here I'm going to add a body. Here I'm going to add H1 saying student list. Done. Now I added everything. I have head, I have body, I have everything I done. Now save the project, go to the student controller. I'm going to create a root for it. I explained what is root. Here I'm going to use a default root. My default root is /. Whenever you build the project, try to run it, this action result will get deducted. Now you see. Express run. You see the student controller containing index action method will get deducted. See, I never attached my service or model or service controller to my project. Hereafter, I'm going to do. You see which one is deducted? Tell me which controller it got deducted. Guys.
Student controller. Index.
Student controller containing index action method.
Index.
Now when you run it, the view will be get loaded. You see the student list view is added or not?
Yes.
Now the view has been fine. Sir, first I want to create an object for this sample service method. I need to call this method get student from my controller. How to do that? How to do that? Basically, how you will do? You will go to do that. First, you will do what? student service. Under controller.cs file, you will create an object. Am I right or wrong? This is not detected because in the solution of project dependency, you need to add all these three projects. You need required a model, you required a service, you required a contract. Click OK. Okay. Once you've done that, if you go to the project, you see here, there is a project dependency under the projects. You see all the three projects are added here. I have model, I have service contract. Are you able to see it or not? Prem,
Yes, sir.
Jafar, everybody.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Once you've done that, you try to call, you have to build the project. Whenever you add a project reference, after adding the project reference, by default, you have to build it. So that reference will be typically available in your project. Now here, student, see, I got the model, I got the service, I got the everything. All the namespaces are there. Now I'm going to take this one, student service and list of student. Is it a right way to do? Is it a right way to do? Please say yes or no. Huh?
Not so, but we can like directly call
I'll tell
the
you. Get students. You have to use a dependency injection. Now you copy the student, simply pass, comma, students. First, let the build the UI with this logic, and then you will work with the dependency injection. Okay, now what will happen? The student object will come into your view, right? Build the project. Here, under the project, you have to register the namespace using, what is your namespace here? Sample model. This is the namespace you have to register. Then model, student model. It is not a student model. It is a list of student model. So that I'm going to use enumerable. Okay, there you go. Build the student model. Student model. Right? Now I got the student model. Here, at for each student model, student in model. Okay, this is how I have to build the for each. Just go here. There you go and create a div. Div h2. I want to get the student name. Just student dot student name. Where is my student name? This is how I get the student name. And then table tr td date of birth and td at student dot date of birth dot to short date string. Otherwise, what will happen? It will give you both time and everything. I don't want that. And again, tr, in which I will go and use a td age. Here I'm going to use a td at the student dot age. Done. Now I created the model. Save all. Try to run the Express. You see, the entire UI will get the data rendered in the index date page. You got all the data? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to apply CSS for this. How to do this apply CSS? Under this project, go and add a folder www root. Got it? In the root, under the solution
Sir.
explorer, yeah.
www root is something which comes at default.
No. When you create an empty project, www root you have to create. If you're creating as a template, it will automatically come.
Okay.
Okay. So right click, add new item. Where is your style sheet? Yeah, there you go. Select the style sheet, click add. Now you got the body. Now here in the index.cshtml, you are going to include that CS file. How to include the CS file? You are going to use link attribute href / style sheet sheet.css. You see all the files will come /. Done. And then rel style sheet. Now you included the CSS file. Now go here, you simply say background color. Simply say background color equal to wheat. Font family. Right? Now save all, run the express. Now fine. I got everything perfect. Now what I'm going to do, div background linear gradient 45° chocolate comma red comma chocolate see you got that? You got it? And then I'm going to make width equal to 350 pixel. Okay. And then display inline block. Okay. Margin 10 pixel. Okay. Padding 10 pixel. Okay. See, you got everything. Now what you need to do? You need to make this just as white color. So what you will do? Div of h2 color white. Done. And then text align center. Now time being I'm doing this, I'm not going to change this one because I don't want to get the time wasted. Now let me put a little bit of box shadow so that you can understand. Box shadow 10 pixel, 10 pixel, Blue. Need to add one more 10 pixel. Somewhat box shadow, you got it. And border radius, I can give some 5 pixel border hyphen radius 5 pixel. This is what something. Now you got the list. Sir, where this data comes from? Is it created through dependency injection or it is created an object? The data, whatever you are seeing in the UI, you create an instance. You created an instance of the controller, right? Based on this instance, you are calling this method. Am I right or wrong? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So is it a right practice every time you go and create an object? It is not a right practice. So what I'm going to do, instead of using the student service like this, I'm going to register this service into my program.cs file as a service method. So how I'm going to do here, builder dot service dot add new of service descriptor. New of service descriptor. Here you need to go type of iStudent service, comma, type of your student service, comma, service lifetime. Service lifetime dot. Which one I can use? Can I use a singleton or remaining thing?
Singleton.
Service lifetime, what I can give?
Singleton.
Service lifetime dot transient. Now I registered the builder. What I did is the student service I registered in the builder, so that this student service will act as an IOC, which is nothing but inversion of control. Or you got my point? And then that inversion of control, when the app.run get detected, it will try to create an object of the student service. That service I'm going to use in my controller as a constructor. How to do that? CTOR under the student controller. Okay, first what I will do, I will get iService, iStudent service. Here I'm going to say student service. Or you got my point? And then here private read only object, where I'm going to read only the value. So I'm going to use this. And this student service will get the value of the object from here. This dot underscore student service equal to student service. Now I got the object. Do I need to create object here? Not required. I'm removing this. Here I'm going to say this dot, this means current class. This dot, always a best practice, you have to use this. Okay. And then you got it. Did I create an object dynamically at any point of time in this file? Tell me. Did I create an object? Everybody.
No, sir.
Others. Prem, Nitin. Did I created any object saying that student service equal to service? Did I pass object of the class or interface? I created object of the interface. Now you see, in the student service, I'm creating a constructor for understanding purpose. Now I'm putting a breakpoint here. I'm not putting a breakpoint anywhere. I'm trying to create a breakpoint here, and I am also putting a breakpoint here. Listen carefully. And also I'm going to put a breakpoint in the route method. Now see, and I'm going to use a program.app.run method. See, 4 places I put a breakpoint. One is app.run method. Another one is student service.method. Another one is controller object. Another one is action result. Now save all, try to run it. Now you are going to learn the dependency injection here. How I am injecting my service object into the contract. Now, which one is calling first? As part of the program, this builder.service, already I injected student service. And then I'm calling the app.run method. Now tell me which one it will call. It will call student service or student controller. Anyone can guess it?
Controller.
Okay. What about Rizvi? Jafar? It will call student service or student controller. Nitin? Prem?
Controller.
Okay. 2 controllers. Any other thing? Prem? It will not call a controller first. It will call a student service. You see. Which one is calling? Before you call a controller, it will try to create an object of the service. Please be careful. When you register a service in app.config program.cs file as a dependency injection, before it calls a controller, it will try to create object for everything. That object will be passed to the respective controllers. Now you see, after creating an object, this object will come here. Now this student service will hold the object. Got it? Chaitanya?
Yes. Yes.
So that is called IOC. That is called dependency.
Control. Yes.
Or you got my point? Now, if you run it, this student service will hold that object and it will go and hit the get students and try to return the value. Got it? It's very clear. Do you have any confusion here? Now, I created a UI. I created a service. I connected the service and UI using IOC container. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to build an entity framework to get these data from the database by using code first approach. How I'm going to do is, let me remove all the breakpoints. Let me close everything. Close all tabs. Now go to my solution explorer. Under my model, okay, right click, add new item. I'm creating a class called student DB context. Student DB context. To make this class as a DB context, I already told you yesterday, DB context is nothing but a database name. In the class, if you say your class name as DB context, the DB context indirectly connect with your database. Under the database, you will have tables. Each property will be treated as a table. Okay, now I want to make this class as DB context. To do that, you need to import, you need to add a package manager. Go to Solution Explorer, right click, manage Naked package. Are you able to see this? Say yes or no. Click on that manage Naked package. In the browse, go here. You see there is a Microsoft.entity core.sql. Come on.
Yeah.
Select that. where you will get the Microsoft Entity Core Framework Core .SQL Server. You have to download this version, which is 8.0.7 install. And then use apply, accept. Once it has been done, go to your Solution Explorer. Under the dependency, you see there is a package. You see there is a package.
Yeah.
But if you look into other class library project, you won't see a package under dependencies. But here you will see the package. Why? Because the package what you installed from the package manager console will come here. Now, this package manager console will internally has a class name called DB context. Now you see here. If I use DB context, now you see it is DB context where it is coming from the class. Can anyone read this test statement? Come on. Chaitanya,
So 1 minute, sir.
can you read this?
A DB context instance represents the session with the database and can be used to query and save instances of your entities. DB context is a combination of the unit of work and repository patterns. Entity framework code does not support multiple parallel operations being run on the same DB context instance.
Now you understand, right? This DB context will be when you make this class as a context class, you need to inherit DB context. This is your base class. What is the purpose of object class? Any class you create, it will indirectly inherit it with the object class. Am I right or wrong? Using system.object. Similar fashion, when you make the student DB context class as a DB context class, you need to inherit the parent class, which is derived from the Microsoft Entity Core Framework. Clear my point? Now here, under this class, you see a override method. Go to definition. You see a override method. On model change. You see a override method on model change. You see here on model creating. It's a virtual method. This method will help you to define everything for you. So what I'm going to do here, override on model creating. Got it? This is the base you need to implement. Here you need to add, you need to register your table, you need to register your data so that it will internally go and store into your SQL Server database. Before that, you need to create a public DB set. You have to tell the table student model, and then you have to use this because this one will invoke from the service when I'm injecting this context to the service class. I will tell you a later point of time, just be there. This is most important, which you are going to refer in future. And then here, model builder, I'm going to tell my SQL Server, this is my student table. How I'm going to do that? Model builder dot entity student model dot to table dot to table. Here I'm going to say what is my table name. I'm simply saying student. My table name is student. Clear? Everybody clear? Now, this student model class indirectly connect with your SQL Server database, which I had explained earlier. Now, after that, I'm going to add the data. How I'm going to add the data? Model builder dot entity student model dot has data of student model. No. Student model equal to new of student model there sorry you don't need this one to directly create an object because you are already having a student model here. Here you have to say copy this, go to your service descriptor project, which I already created, student service, take this first one and go here, add it. Similar fashion, take the model builder, go and make the second one. I'm making the second one. Again, I'm going to copy, paste. I'm going to copy this third one. And again, I'm going to copy this. Sorry. Again, I'm going to copy this fourth one. This is my fourth one. Again, I'm going to copy the wait. Again, I'm going here, copy this fifth one. I'm copying this. Okay, save all. My context has been added. Now I got all the data. Outlining, collapse to definition. Now in the model creator, you added all the 5 data in my model creator. So my model creator will try to create a table as well as data into the database. On which context the database should be added. For that, save this, go to program.cs file. In the MVC, you need to create a one more dependency package manager. You need to add the package manager, which I already added here. Just go Microsoft SQL, register this framework, apply, accept. Watra. Okay. Uninstall and then apply, accept, done. Now you see this dependency as a package. Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The dependency as a package.
Okay.
Now close this. Try to build my project. Build. What will happen? It will build all the 4 projects because it has been referred all the 3 projects as well. So it will take some time. See, it will build all the 4 projects. It built it with the model, it built it with the contract, it built it with the service, and then it will complete everything. So you see here, how many projects it has been built?
4.
4. So because this project referred with all the 3 models. Now done. Go back to the solution. Go to program.cs file. I'm going to register my entity framework here. Where I'm going to register? Here I'm going to register. How I'm going to register? Builder dot service dot add DB context. You see? You see there is a DB context? Say yes or no. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Others? If you keep silent, no issue, no need to come. DB context. Here, I'm going to call the student DB context class. Because I'm going to create object for the student DB context. This is how you have to build the context. I got my point. But sir, this student DB context should tell which database I'm going to use. So what you need to do here, simply build options. Okay, like this you have to build. Okay, here you have to say options dot use SQL server. Right? This use SQL server has a constructor, which is go to implementation. It will not go to implementation. It will go to definition. What it is expecting this use SQL server? It is expecting the server configuration. That means which database I'm going to connect. So what is my server configuration? Go to my SQL server, open the SQL server. Just say optional connect. Now go to job database. I am removing the sample institute. Okay. I delete this database because I'm going to create the same thing. And then take this express properties, copy this value. Okay. Now go back in the view. You see there is a server explorer. Will you all able to see the server explorer? And then select the database, put the server name here, right? And then come here, you make this encrypt optional, run it. You see all the databases are added. Click on educational management, click on advanced, copy the entire connection string. Okay. And then close it. Here, you have to pass like this. Understand? You are telling server with the server name and everything. Here you have to say, my database name is student management. Okay. But sir, is it a right practice to get the data from here? It is not a right practice. What you need to do? You need to add this data, cut it, go to the Program Solution Explorer, go to app setting.json. Here, you need to add that saying connection string. It has to work. Why it is not working? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll build the project first. Build. Build succeeded. Comma. Connection string. Here I have to say, this is what I have to use. I have to paste this. Okay. And you can say here, you say default connection. Default connection. How to get the record of this particular default connection means in the program.cs file. Okay. Here you write a small code string underscore connection string equal to builder dot connection string dot get connection string of, you see there is a get connection string of, what is the connection string name we provided? What is the connection string name we provided in the JSON? Default connection. You have to get this connection here. And then you simply say dot toString. Conversion is most important. Then only the error will not come. Okay. Take this connection string. Okay. Then pass. I'm putting a breakpoint here. I'm going to check whether I'm reading the connection string properly or not. Why? It should be default connection string. Yeah. Nalla. Why? Just throwing null. Hold on a second. Open container. What is the one which we developed yesterday? This one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we take this one entire stuff as it is. Okay. Build. Take this default connection. Yeah. Now got the connection string. The one which I passed all the connection string will be added here. That's good. Now this is what I want. Now what will happen? I'm going to create this DB context option in my service class. Before I make this in a service class, what I'm going to do in my model class student DB context, I am going to get that context by using CTOR DB context option. Here I'm going to say options. Okay. Here I'm going to build private DB context underscore options. Okay. Here I'm going to say private read only. I don't want to make any change here. So that's why I'm using private read only. This dot options equal to this. Now build the project. Done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file which will create and go and deploy in my project. So for that, I'm going for a package manager console under a PowerShell. Here, add hyphen manager student DB. This is my first step. It will not recognize. Why? Because I need to install a package, install hyphen package. Okay, install hyphen package, and then Microsoft dot entity framework dot tools. Under which DLL I need to install? I need to install model DLL and click enter. What will happen? This, okay, Microsoft Framework Core. Sorry. Here you have to say Microsoft Framework Core, enter. Now it will install everything. And then once it has been installed, try to build the project. Try to build the project. Now you see project has succeeded. That means this package manager console has been installed. How do I prove that? Go to dependency. You see, there is a package manager console.tools has been added here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after doing that, you need to try to call that add manager. Enter. Again, it will have a problem. Add-manager manager will not work. Why? Because you have to install here under institute in the MVC project. You have to install a one more package called design. Design, enter. Once it has been done, you go here in the design, in the project dependency, you could have seen a package called design. See, you got this design package. Say yes or no? Build it. Say yes or no? Chaitanya, you are in mute.
Yes, sir.
Rizwan, Prem. Prem. And then you go here, add manager. Oh, what is that name? Every day I'm forgetting. Shit. Hold on a second. Add migration. Shit. Add -migration. Student DB. See, it is not manager, it is a migration. What will happen? It will create a file for you. It will unable to create a DB context. Why? Okay. You pass here. Student DB context. Here you have to pass student DB context. Build. This DB context option will has a DB context class. Okay. So here I need to pass this DB context to my base constructor. It is not happening. So what I need to do, base of option, because this should know to connect the database, which I'm not doing. That is the reason it is throwing exception. Okay. Now, hold on a second. I don't want this. I don't want this. Then go here, build it. Okay. It should be model class. Perfect. See, what is the problem is here I need to select the default project is model, but I selected main class. That is why it is not throwing exception. Now I got the migration file. You see here, there is a migration file created, Chaitanya. It is automatically created in the migration file. I will show you. Chaitanya, are you there? This folder is created automatically.
Yes, sir.
Screen sharing is paused. Okay, you see here, you see the migration file.
Yeah.
You got the migration file. How this migration file is created is, I am going to create a add migration student DB, selected the model project. Or you got my point? Once you've done that, this migration file will be created with the data. What are the data I added? Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. It automatically created an insert script of the table. What it is saying? Migration builder dot insert data for the table student, and these are all the columns. What are all the columns? Student ID, age, date of birth, student name. Got it? And then before that, it tried to create a table with the migration builder, student, and table equal to student ID, student name, date of birth, age. Since I used a key attribute in the model, you see here, in the student model, go to definition. Since I added a key attribute of student ID, it automatically create a primary key. PK of student ID. It is created or not? Table.primary key. Is it created or not?
Yes, sir. Created, sir.
Okay. And then here, update hyphen database. And what is the migration name we created? Student DB. Copy this, paste, click enter. What will happen? That file will go on, update everything. Done. Now go to your database, refresh the database. When you refresh, you see sample institute DB. A database is created or not?
Yes, sir.
And this database has a two tables. One is student table, another one is migration version table. You see there is a EF migration history table, student table. Now, if you look into the student table, go to select 1000 rows, you get all the records which are available in the table. See, whatever the data we created as an entity is added in the database or not? Did I make anything?
No.
And similar fashion, in the EF migration history, you can also see that when this migration happened for the which product version. With the date, timestamp, everything will be there. 2024, 13th August, the time along with the table name is student DB. Got it? Now coming back, I done my everything. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to create an instance of this DB context, which is already there. Now what I'm going to do, go to Solution Explorer. Instead of using my service data in the student service, I am going to create an instance of an object of DB context. How I'm going to do? Private, read only, DB context option. of student DB context. Here I'm going to say DB context. Okay. And then this DB context, I'm going to get as an instance saying that DB context. And this one, this dot, that's it. Now build the solution. Here, instead of return all student, I'll simply write this dot underscore DB context dot student. Why da? Hold on a second. It should come DB context only. Okay, let me remove this. What will happen? I have to configure. Student models are. Yeah. Let make this as capital. Build this model. And then go to here. Here I can say student models dot to list. Okay. So what will happen? This student model will automatically return a list. I'll prove you here. Copy, paste. Students. Here, return students. Did I use this all student model or did I use the object model, ma? Tell me. I'm using this object model. Okay. Now save all. Put a breakpoint of this. Run it. See, now I am retrieving data from the database by using entity framework. Earlier in the service, I created my model. Now I'm going to create the data which already stored in the database. I'm going to get it. Now you see here, student service is created. Now you see here, the DB context. I'm getting the student model DB context or not? Say yes or no. Are you guys sleeping? Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to get that?
Yeah.
Now, F11. See, it is calling the model. And it is loading the data. Got it? It all coming from the DB context. Sir, you can ask me a question. Sir, it is calling this on model creator so that you are already added a data, right? So now I'm going to comment this. I will comment the data. Once I comment the data, it will only going to get the base model. Only it is going to execute this one. But still you will get the data from the database. Now you see you got the student service. I'm removing. Run it. I'm going to call this one also out. Just F11. F10 is more enough. F10 is not working. Let me go with F11. Model creation happened. Invalid student model. Why? Okay. This should be there. It has to tell from which table it has to get, right? Only the data you should remove. See, the data is added. Say yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is how you have to implement. Now in the student service, I'm trying to put a breakpoint and try to call the same service once again so that you can understand. Run it. Now here, F11. And then F11. Now you see, this is come from database. Everything is come from database or not? Did I made anything from the here? Nothing. Prem? Guys, speak. Everything coming from the database. And that is how you need to build the structure. So this is called end-to-end framework we will develop. Tomorrow, we are going to use how to add a new record, how to modify a new record. In the next subsequent days, we can build the student model with a different level. Clear? Everybody clear with this?
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.